Section 3. The Hoover High Student Council decided to make Friendship Star quilts of various sizes with different size quilt blocks. Number 2. Work with your group and use the Pythagorean theorem to find the exact measures of the missing dimensions and ratios in the table below. It has a couple of different sizes. We start off in the first two. It has a 9-inch by 9-inch quilt block and a 15-inch by 15-inch quilt block. Here it says the length of one triangle leg is 1. We have a 1.5 and we have a 2. Then it gives us our hypotenuse, which is 6 square root of 2 and 4. All right. I'm going to give you, let's go with a 5-minute time limit on this section. Go ahead and pause your videos. Take 5 minutes to answer through question number 2. The answers to question number 2 have been provided. You'll notice off to the side, I kind of drew myself a little picture of what the friendship quilt block looked like. And I said, well, 9 is the entire dimension. Well, I know that these are squares, so they're congruent sides. So they're 3. So I'm dividing that 9 by 3, and I get each side length is 3. Now, then I did the math behind finding the hypotenuse. And I said 3 squared plus 3 squared, because remember, squares are congruent. So I have 9 plus 9, which equals 18. And then we do the breakdown of 18. If you recall, we do 18 can be divided by 9 and 2 in my factor tree. And then we have 3 and 3. Now, recall that, remember, if they have a date, they can go outside our house. And whoever is not got a date, they're solo and they stay home alone. So I have 3 square root of 2. Now, it said write it as a ratio of hypotenuse to leg. Well, my hypotenuse is this column, right? And my leg is this column right here. So I do 3 square root of 2 divided by 3. Gives me the square root of 2. I do here, I said those are 5s. And I got 5 square root of 2 as my hypotenuse. Gave me the square root of 2 whenever I did the division there. And as you can see, you can look through these. I want to talk a quick moment about how I went from, well, in order to go from this column to this column, remember we divided by 3. So to go backwards, I would multiply by 3. To go from this column to this column, I times by the square root of 2. That's the shortcut. So to go backwards, I would divide by the square root of 2. So I want to talk about this one real quick. 4 divided by the square root of 2. We don't like radicals in our denominator position, so we multiply by a well-chosen 1, which happens to be the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. And I'm going to show you why we do this. 4 times the square root of 2 gives me 4 square root 2. Square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4. What is the square root of 4? 2. So we have 4 square root of 2 over 2. Well, can 4 be divided by 2? Yeah. Gives me 2 square root of 2. That's why we call it a well-chosen 1. And so notice here, whenever I have my triangle leg, it's 2 square root of 2. And that's because we did not have a square root on my hypotenuse. On to the next set of questions.